Alright, good morning everyone. I'm so excited to welcome us all to the day 4 of the Get Serious Challenge, the 7 days of mindset shift experience. It's been very amazing since day 1 that we started to day 2 and to day 3. I've been getting a lot of reviews, a lot of good messages, a lot of lives that have been touched so far from this program, and it's a big encouragement for me. I'm very excited, and I just want to encourage us to watch more of the videos, subscribe on YouTube, so that even after the training, when I drop more videos, you'll be able to follow along. And don't stop sharing this program. It's 7 days, and today is just the day 4, so don't get tired on sharing. Keep sharing, keep talking to your friends, your family, your loved ones about it. Add them to the group, send them the link. Let's keep this going. It's transformation indeed, and we won't go through it alone. Alright, today we are having a very powerful topic to handle. Very, very, very deep and interesting. It's something no person here should miss. And what is it? It says you will never rise above how you see yourself. You will never rise. You will never rise above how you see yourself. And that's true. So this is not just a statement. This is a jam-packed topic. Is a topic with a lot of things to learn from. Also, today we'll be talking about how self-talk. What is self-talk? What you say to yourself, self-image, how you see yourself, and self-belief. What do you believe about yourself? How these three things affect your life. So this is what we'll be talking about, and let's get into it. Now, introduction. I believe we are here with our pen and our books. Like I normally say, please make sure you have something to write. Don't just watch the video just like that. If you can pick up a book and a pen, you will see that you will have a lot to learn. But if you just watch the video like that, you will learn, but you might not learn much. So please endeavor, even if it's your phone notebook, just have somewhere to write things, to jot things down. It will help you, because we are here to learn. Alright, introduction. I want you to write this down: the invisible ceiling. The invisible ceiling. Now, many people spend their entire life struggling, working, praying, and dreaming, yet they never rise beyond a certain level. They try harder, attend programs, even programs like this, they learn skills, and even receive opportunities. But somehow they always return to the same position. It is as though an invisible ceiling exists over their lives. Follow me carefully. Now, that ceiling is not created by enemies. It's not created by society. It's not created by circumstances. It is created by self-image. Self-image. No person ever permanently rises above the way they see themselves. Your life always returns to the same level of your inner identity. So what am I saying here? That a lot of people, they try so hard to come up in life. They do all they can, they work hard, they learn skills, they try, they attend programs, they do everything that they can. But after all this, it seems as if they can't rise above a certain level. Now write this thing down. No person rises above how they see themselves. Write it down. No person will rise above how he or she sees himself. How do you see yourself? I want to ask you. What do you think about yourself? What do you believe about yourself? What do you say? Sometimes we are so concerned about what do people say about me. What do people think about me? But what do you think about yourself? I want to ask you. What do you think about yourself? What do you say about yourself? Do you believe you are good? Do you believe you can make it? Do you believe that? How do you see yourself? Some people see themselves as useless people, as people who can't make it, as people who their life has come to the end, that nothing good can come out of them, that they are not good in some things, that they are mediocres. What do you see about yourself? See, whatever people think about you doesn't matter. What you say about yourself matters. What you think about yourself matters most, because that is what affects your life. People can think whatever thing they want to think. It doesn't come to you. But whatever you think about yourself, whatever you say about yourself matters more. That's what determines the things you will do, and the things you can become, and the things you can achieve for yourself. Now, there are three inner forces that shape every human. Three inner forces that shape our lives. Now, every human being is governed by three internal forces. Number one, the way you talk to yourself. Write it down. The way you talk to yourself. Number two, the way you see yourself. Yes. Number three, the way you believe about yourself. The way you believe about yourself. What you believe about yourself. So these three things are the things that govern and shape our lives. These forces operate silently. Nobody hears them. Nobody sees them. Yet, they determine everything you do, everything you attempt, and everything you avoid. Your actions are simply the outward expression of your inner picture. You get it? Your actions are just an expression of your inner picture. So, these things that go on in our mind, the way you talk to yourself, the way you see yourself, what you believe about yourself, they are the things that reflect on what we do on a daily basis. You get it? So some people wake up in the morning, they begin to speak negatively to themselves. They have negative beliefs about themselves. They tell themselves, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I'm not qualified. They are better than me. They should go ahead. And these things keep stopping you. I want you just to say to yourself, say, I'm good. I can do it. No person is better than me. Just say it. Just say it before we continue. Type it down. Type it on the comments and say, no person is better than me. I can do something. Alright. Now write this one down. The power of self-talk. Write it down. The power of self-talk. Now, self-talk is the private conversation you have with yourself every day. It is the voice in your mind that speaks when nobody's around. When you fail, that voice speaks. When you try something new, that voice speaks. When you are afraid, that voice speaks. When you compare yourself with others, that voice still speaks. So most people never question this voice. They assume it is telling them the truth. Wow. I hope you're following my teaching this morning. So they'll think, this voice in your head that tells you, that talks to you. Every one of us have that voice. So many of us, we don't question this. Even when it tells us the things that are not true about ourselves, we believe it. But many times it is lying. The voice is lying. Common negative self-talking like, I'm not good enough, I'm slow, I will always fail, others are better than me, I'm unlucky, I can't do this. And when this voice keeps speaking to us, we believe it. When these statements are repeated daily, the brain accepts them as facts, even though they are not true. The mind then begins to look for evidence to support them. Are you getting me? So when you keep this voice keeps speaking to you every day, our brain works in a way that the brain begins to accept that, because there is no counter information countering what the voice is speaking to us. So the brain accepts that. Now when this keep happening, the mind then begins to look for evidence to support what the brain has accepted, what the voice has accepted. Now soon the person begins to behave according to those lies. The mind believes what it hears repeatedly. I said this thing yesterday. The mind believes what it hears repeatedly. Yes. So when you keep saying this thing to yourself, when you keep saying it to yourself, when this voice keeps saying this to yourself and you don't say no, sometimes something tells you can't do, and you don't say no, I don't believe it, I can do something. When you don't counter what those voices are saying, what this voice is saying in your mind, your brain begin to accept that. Your brain accepts it, it believes it, and your mind also does that. It accepts that and it believes that. Over time, you begin to see that you begin to act in the way your mind has accepted, and that's what begins to form your life. Now, I want to talk about how self-talk shapes behavior. How self-talk shapes behavior. A person who constantly says, I'm bad at learning, will avoid studying. A person who says, I'm not confident, will avoid speaking. I'm not confident to speak to people. As long as you keep saying this to yourself, you begin to discover that you begin to avoid speaking to people. A person who says, I'm poor-minded, will avoid business opportunities. You get it? So, not because they lack the ability, but because the inner voice has already decided their limits. Oh my God. I wish people are writing this thing down. I wish somebody is actually following this teaching this morning. So when these things keep saying all this to yourself, it begins to affect your behavior. How? Not because you lack the ability, but because the inner voice has already decided for you what you can do and what you can do. But that's not true. Self-talk becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So it doesn't, the self-talk, when you keep saying this to yourself, you just begin to live out the thing you say to yourself. You just begin to look like a prophecy being fulfilled. Whereas these are things that are lies that you say to yourself that are not true. And because you're not questioning these voices, they become reality in your life. They become your reality. They become the way your life is. I believe after this section this morning, you will begin to question the things you hear yourself, and you begin to counter whatever thing you begin to hear yourself that is not positive, that doesn't correspond to where you want to be, to the vision, to the potential, to the purpose of your life. After this section, begin to question the self-talk. Anytime you hear those voices speak to yourself, speaking to you again, I need you to start countering whatever they tell you. Tell yourself, when they say you are not good enough, no, say no, I'm good enough, I can do it. Begin to counter whatever negative self-talk that goes on in your mind, in your brain. That's how you change your life. I want you that after this section, something new will begin to happen in your life. Something extraordinary will begin to manifest in your life. That your behavior, the way you see yourself, will begin to change, and you begin to see a new light in your life. Now let's talk about self-image. Self-image, write it down. What is self-image? Self-image is the picture inside you. Self-image is the mental photograph you carry of yourself. The mental photograph you carry of yourself. It is how you see yourself when nobody is watching you. When you close your eyes and imagine your future, what do you see? Yeah. When you close your eyes and think about your life in the next 10 years, what do you think? Some people think their life will get worse in the next 5 years. Some people think their life will get worse in the next 3 years. Some people even think they will die in the next 10 years. That they will die untimely. That's how some people see themselves. So when you close your eyes and imagine your future, what do you see? Do you see confidence, or do you see fear? Do you see leadership, or do you see dependency? Do you see success, or do you see struggle? Do you see strength, or do you see weakness? This image controls your choices. How do you see yourself? It's very important. If you see yourself as small, you will think small, ask small, and accept small opportunities. It's all in the mind. If you see yourself as small, if you see yourself as a small, you will think small, you will ask small, and you will accept small opportunities. If you see yourself as valuable, you will protect your time, develop yourself, and demand better. Your self-image determines what you believe you deserve. Some people think they deserve just a little. Some people think that they are common, that they are not to be trusted and committed a lot of things. So even in your business, yes, even in your business, how you see yourself determines what you charge. There are some places, for example, two people who do graphic designing, one may be charging 20,000 naira because he believes he knows what he's offering. The other person may be charging 30,000 naira because he believes what he's offering is common. So it's all about how you see yourself. Yes. Now write this down. Why many people sabotage their own success. Many people receive opportunities but cannot keep them. They get jobs, they lose them. They get relationships, but they destroy them. They get chances, but they waste them. This is not always because of lack of skill. It is often because their self-image is lower than the opportunity. Imagine someone who sees himself as a rat getting an opportunity of an elephant. It's not going to work. So we lose jobs most times, we lose relationship, we lose opportunities, not because we really can't handle them, or not because there are invisible forces fighting against us. No, but because the way we see ourselves and what we believe of ourselves doesn't match with those kind of opportunities. So you see that you always act in a separate direction that is opposite to what you have been offered, and this is what makes us lose opportunities and lose precious things. It is often because their self-image is lower than their opportunity. When your inner identity is small and your outer opportunity is big, conflict occurs. You see what I just said now? Conflict occurs. So your inner world is saying something small, whereas your outer world, you have a big something. So a fight begins, and the inner world will always win, because it is what happens here that is what controls the physical. Now write this down. The mind will unconsciously destroy what it does not believe it deserves. I'll read it again. The mind will unconsciously destroy what it does not believe it deserves. So your mind will always kick against whatever it thinks it does not deserve. Whatever your mind doesn't accept, whatever your mind doesn't believe, even if you have opportunity to travel outside the country, there are persons I know that travel outside the country, they still came back. They came back worse than they were before, if they even traveled. When you look at them, you won't even say or think that if they tell that this kind of a person traveled outside the country, you won't believe it. Why? Most people will say it's their village people, that there is somebody in their family that is. No, these things is just a result of the subconscious mind, how they see themselves and what they believe. When your inner identity is more, mark this place, and your outer opportunity is big, conflict occurs. So your mind keep telling you you can't make it, you can't do well outside the country, you can't handle this opportunity. There's always an inner conflict because your mind has not been trained to align with the opportunity that you have. So that's how people keep repeating the same year, the same level, and they think is village people. They think is the devil fighting against them, not knowing that their mindset plays 95% of what happens in our daily lives. Now let's move further to self-belief, the limits you set for yourself. Self-belief is what you think is possible for you. Write it down. Self-belief is what you think is possible for you. It answers questions like, how far can I go? How much can I earn? How great can I become? What kind of life can I live? Many people place limits on themselves without realizing it. When they say, I can't go far, people like me don't succeed. The level is not for us. I'm not built for that. You see people say, I'm not built for that. It's not my thing. I can't do it. So these statements become mental boundaries. They become mental boundaries. You cannot cross a boundary you believe in. Oh my God. Oh my God. I hope somebody is getting something this morning. You cannot cross a boundary you believe in. Belief gives permission. Doubt removes permission. Belief gives permission. Doubt removes permission. So, whatever thing you believe about yourself is what happens. Beliefs are like boundaries. So, what do you believe about yourself? Now, if I tell you that in the next 2 years you become a multi-millionaire, what did your mind just say? Oh yeah, let's take a test. In the next 2 years, you'll become a multi-billionaire. Do you believe it? Many of you, your mind, immediately I said that, your mind began to kick against that. It says, no, your family is poor, you have a small business, where will the money come from? That's what your mind said. Many of you can testify that immediately I said that, your mind immediately began to kick against it. It began to kick against it. It began to say, no, it's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible. And this is what happens. This is why people remain in the same level, because they don't believe what could happen. They don't believe. They believe the impossible and doubt the possible. You get me? And because they believe the impossible become possible. Whereas the good things that should become possible for them now become impossible. It's all about the mind, how you see yourself and what you believe about yourself. After today, I want you to go back and begin to reshape your beliefs. Take a book, write, okay, I'm going to give an assignment. Write the things you never believed about yourself and begin to believe them again. It's going to happen. I believe that. Now, let's talk about the roots of low self-image. All these things, low self-image, they have roots, they have where they came from. So negative self-image does not just appear suddenly. It is programmed over time. How? It usually comes from 5 major sources. Number 1, childhood words. What you were told repeatedly as a child becomes your foundation. What your parents kept talking to you about, what your guardian, your friends, your neighbors, what in all of these things. Something like you are stubborn, you are lazy, you are slow, you are a troublemaker, you are a failure. So words become identities. Write it down. Words become identities. So these things, childhood words shape our self-image. Number 2, past failures. Repeated failures can convince a person that success is not for them. Something like you begin to say to yourself, I tried it before, it didn't work, so it won't work again. So past failures can affect our self-image the way we see it. That you failed in something 3 years ago doesn't mean that if you try again today, you're going to fail. No, that's not true. Number 3 is comparison. Now, comparing yourself to others damages confidence. How? Sometimes there are people who you see that are ahead of you, and when you begin to compare yourself with them, you begin to say to yourself, I'm behind, they are better, I'm not like them. In fact, my own has finished. Imagine where they are and look at where I am. Oh my God. You begin to say some things, you begin to see yourself in a certain way as if you are the worst person. I say, okay, maybe you know a friend who is married and you're not married. You begin to say, oh my God, I'm worst. What's happening? Someone you know that has built a house and you haven't built yours, or someone that has something doing that you haven't gotten. So when you begin to compare yourself, it damages our self-image. Now, I want you to know that every person is different. That even though nobody is better than you, but you should know that we are all different in our own things, and we have our own different timelines. If you just look at the palms of our hands, you can see that the way our hands, all these lines is completely different to every other person. There is no person that has the same fingerprints. You get it? No person has the same fingerprints. No person have the same hand structure. All those things, no person has it. So every one of us, our lives are different in our own. So that somebody is doing something that you haven't achieved doesn't mean that those persons are better than you. Okay, that's not true. So just know that and know that for your good. Number 4 is rejection. Being rejected creates internal wounds. You begin to say to yourself, I'm not wanted, I'm not chosen, I'm not important. Yeah. Then number 5 is trauma. Trauma. Painful experiences can rewrite identity. You begin to say, I'm weak, I'm broken, I'm unsafe. These experiences plant seed in the mind. Trauma. Trauma is very, very deadly. But it's not our fault. It's not your fault that people treated you in a bad way. It's not your fault that he abused you. It's not your fault that she abused you. It's not your fault that the people you trusted betrayed you and that made you go through trauma. But at this point, and at this point in time, this 2026, I've come to announce to you that you have to let go of everything. You gotta forgive some people, some persons. You gotta forget some things to move forward, because this is your year to move forward. This is your year to change your life, and you have to let go of those trauma. You have to try your best to forget about those experiences, those things that when each time you remember them, you break down. You have to let go of those things because it's your season of a new thing, and you have to let it go. Now, yesterday I told you that the mind is a program system. The human mind was like a program. Whatever is repeated becomes installed. Whatever is practiced becomes permanent. Whatever is accepted becomes a standard. Whatever you accept becomes a standard. So if negative thoughts are fed to your mind daily, negative identity begin to form and it begins to develop. So you see that it's all about your thoughts. It all starts from the way you think. It all starts from your daily thoughts. And that's why the Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. Whatever thing you have become and whatever thing you will become is all from the mind, and they start from thoughts. So if positive truths are fed daily, strength develops. If you feed your mind with positive things, you begin to see that you begin to have positive thoughts, positive beliefs about yourself. Your current identity is the result of past programming. Your future identity depends on present programming. Are you getting what I'm saying? So what you earn today is a result of the programming that you got from childhood, even though you got them unconsciously. But now you can consciously reprogram yourself for your future self. So that's why I said your future identity depends on present programming. And this one is going to be more effective because you are doing it consciously. Even though as a child we got those programming unconsciously, we never knew that they were programming us. But now that you know, you can reprogram yourself. Yeah. So now, having learned about all these things, how our self-image, the self-talk, the self-belief, the inner voice, how all these things affect us. So now, how do we reprogram them? So how do we reprogram the inner voice? Reprogramming begins with awareness. You must first hear yourself and then know what to do. Now, let's say for example, what do you say when you fail? What do you say when you are afraid? What do you say when you compare yourself? What do you say when you are tired? Now, once you identify the lies, you now have to start replacing them with the truth. Every negative statement must be challenged. Every negative statement must be challenged. You don't have to allow it to go free. You have to counter it by saying something better, something positive to yourself. So for example, I'm weak becomes I'm strong and I'm improving. Yeah, I'm getting stronger. Instead of saying I'm weak, you say I'm improving, I'm getting stronger. Instead of saying I can't, you say I can do it, I'm learning. Instead of saying I'm behind, you tell yourself I'm making progress. So replacement is the key. You cannot delete old programs, but you can overwrite them. You can create something new. You can restructure your self-image and the inner voice in you. Number 2 is, how do we build a new identity? How do we build a new self-image? Now, a new life begins with a new identity. Identity is not formed by wishing. It is formed by repetition and action. How? When you repeatedly declare who you are becoming, your mind begins to align. When you begin to say to yourself, I'm disciplined, I'm focused, I'm valuable, I'm confident, I'm consistent. When you act according to these statements, they become reality. So you don't just have to say them. Saying them without taking action won't change anything. So you have to say, when you say I'm disciplined, try as much as it depends on you to become disciplined. When you say I'm focused, try your best to remove distractions. When you say I'm valuable, try your best to begin to add value to yourself. When you say I'm consistent, try your best, no matter how hard it is, to be consistent with whatever thing you are doing. So just saying them doesn't change anything. But when you say things and act, your brain now receive a signal. Wow, this guy is serious. So the brain accepts that, and it begins to. That's how your life begins to change. So action reinforces belief. Belief fuels action. So these two things must work. While you believe in the new things you say about yourself, you have to back it up with action. Very, very important. Now we're talking about acting your way into confidence. Now, confidence is not a feeling you wait for. It is a behavior you practice. You speak even when afraid. You try even when it's untrue or when it's unsure. You just try. Even when it's not clear for you, just try. You learn even when it's low. You just keep going, keep learning. Even when it's low, you show up even when you are tired. Even in the difficult days, try and show up. That's how you build confidence. So each action rewires the brain. Each action you take rewires your brain. So over time, the identity change. For me, I used to struggle before on not keeping my words or keeping to my promise. I used to struggle with that. I can say something at the end of the day, I don't do it. Even the things I say to myself. But what did I have to do? I started trying my best. When I say something to myself, I try and do it. When I say something to somebody, I try and keep to the appointment. That was how I began to rewrite my brain, and it started working for me. So each action rewires your brain. Over time, the identity changes. So you begin to see yourself in a different way. And now, how? Because you have done something about it. You didn't just believe, you actually did something. Now, before I conclude, there is something I want to talk about. I call it the law of inner respect. So how you treat yourself determines how others treat you. If you disrespect yourself, people will disrespect you. If you value yourself, people will value you. So respect starts inside. The world responds to self-perception. So how you perceive yourself and how you see yourself will determine how people will respond to you. Now, the hard truth is that no enemy can destroy you faster than negative self-talk. Not even the devil. No limitation is stronger than low self-belief. No prison is tighter than a small self-image. So if you see yourself as nothing, life will confirm it. If you see yourself as rising, life will support it. Write it down. If you see yourself as nothing, life will confirm it. If you see yourself as rising, life will support it. So your mind is either your greatest ally or your greatest enemy. It all depends on how you choose to program your mind and make it work for you. So the conclusion of the whole thing is that transformation does not begin with circumstances. It begins with identity. When your inner voice changes, your confidence changes. When your behavior changes, your results change. So you do not rise by chance, you rise by self-belief. You do not grow by luck, you grow by inner reprogramming. So your future is waiting for the version of you that believes in itself, and you have to begin today. So start today and begin to reprogram. I'll be dropping the assignments down below so that you can copy and do your assignment and send to me. Make sure you do your assignment. Is a more practical way of implementing the things we've talked about so far.